Very good morning. In the previous video, we discussed about the natural circulation, and now we would be discussing that how it continues. Since the production of the flue gases is continuous in nature, they are produced as long as the fuel is burnt. So this process also the process of natural circulation also continues, and we also discussed the TS diagram of how the natural circulation happens. Now we are going to discuss some of the advantages of the water tube boilers and some of the features of it. Now the evaporative capacity of the boiler is 20,000 to 40,000 kg per hour. And what is the pressure? Pressure lies between 11.5 to 17.5 bars. The draught loss is minimum compared to the other boilers. Defective tubes could be replaced easily. And now, say one thing we have to note that the brick walls, that the grate, especially the grate, is made up of the brick walls. The combustion chamber or the grate area is made up of brick walls because it is the area where the highest temperature of the boiler exists. Grate area. So it is better if we use the refractory walls to make it so that the expansion losses, so that the expansion and the thermal expansion and contraction is least. Now the situation is that the entire boiler rests over an iron structure independent of the brickwork so that the boiler may expand and contract freely. Now this thing we discussed about the grate area. Now this boiler is body. It is made up of since drum is also made up of the ferrous materials, not only iron in pure form. Ferrous materials, and the tubes we already discussed, they are made up of the alloy steels, and we discussed them also. Now since they all are made up of steels, so it is quite logical that due to high temperature thermal stresses, contraction, expansion would be there, and because of this the boiler actually rests over the iron structure, and the designing of the structure is such that the expansion and contraction do not actually pose a stress. Expansion contraction do not cause any kind of stress to the boiler parts and its other working machinery. So this was all about the basics of the Babcock and Wilcox boiler. There is a model also, and if the COVID-19 situation gets better, we would be able to see its model also in the lab. Now we discuss some of the things regarding the fire tube boilers, and we are going to discuss the fire tube boiler, which one of the fire tube boilers, which is called the Cochran boiler. Now this is the Cochran boiler, and Cochran boiler, it is a fire tube boiler actually. Why it is a fire tube boiler? Please note that this this is the grate area, or we can say it is a firebox. We also have a fire door, and this is the ash pit for the collection of the ashes, and the hot gases are passed from the bottom, and the coal and other combustible fuels are kept at the bottom, at the top of the grate, and the firebox, and this is the combustion chamber. Firebox corresponds to the combustion chamber, which we discussed in the Babcock and Wilcox boiler. Now, and since combustion happens, it produces the flue gases. The flue gases pass through this area, and the combustion chamber exists up to here, since they have also labeled it. Now these are the fire brick lining, and it is made up of the refractory material. Now these flue gases will enter inside these tubes. That is why, and it is called a fire tube boiler. Now these tubes, since they are having the flue gases inside them, and water surrounds them, water is there in between these tubes also, and water surrounds the tube. So in their path of flowing through, now I am going to make it bigger, that this is a tube, and this tube carries a carries the flue gases. In their path of flowing, the flue gases are going to heat up the water surrounding them. This is the water which surrounds the tube, and the water is heated in this way. And finally, there is a escape of the gases, flue gases, through the chimney. Now the since water is in the stationary condition and only flue gases are flowing, the efficiency of the fire tube boilers are not very high. Fire tube boilers efficiency, they are less compared to the water tube boilers. The thermal efficiency or the boiling efficiency, we can say. Now most of the parts we could see that the pressure gauge is there, and pressure gauge was also there in case of the water tube boiler also, that is the Babcock and Wilcox boiler. This is the PG stands for the pressure gauge. We also had the water level indicator, and which is also present here. So these are the some of the basic components. We would be discussing them in great detail also. They are present everywhere in both the water and the fire tube boilers. Everywhere here means in both the situations, water tube as well as the fire tube. This is the safety valve, dead weight safety valve, and rest of the functioning is same. The only difference is this. Now we could also see a blow off cock, which is required to take the mud and water out during the blow off process. Basically it is used for taking out the mud also, which has got sedimented during the process of boiler operation. Now these are the important water and fire tube boilers. Now one boiler is there which we are going to discuss, and this is a simple vertical boiler having the cross tubes, and it is there in the syllabus. In the lab it is present in the form of a red colored boiler having a vertical cross tube boiler written over it. Vertical cross tube boiler. Red colored body. Now the construction of this boiler is very much similar to the Cochrane boiler we discussed just now, and this simple vertical boiler also imitates in a similar way. This construction is very similar to that of the boiler which that is the vertical cross tube boiler. The only difference is here is one cross tube is there, and in the lab we have the two cross tubes present. Now we can see that the pressure gauge, water level indicator, safety valve, steam stop valve, manhole, these are the things, these are the fittings which are present which are present in any boiler for a safe and proper use of the boiler. Please note that these things are not going to increase the efficiency of the boiler. These are required for the proper functioning and safety of the boiler. Proper functioning and safety, I am going to write it here, and safety of the boiler. That is why these things are called as boiler mountings. Boiler mountings, I am going to write it separately, boiler mountings. These are the things which are essential for the proper functioning and safety. Please note, I am also repeating it once again, proper functioning and safety of boiler. Now there are certain things. Now this boiler is also quite similar, and this boiler consists of the two cross tubes. Now since we have a time restriction also, we would be discussing this boiler, simple vertical boiler, and other concepts, other things like boiler accessories and fittings in detail in our further in our subsequent videos also. Thank you very much.